बोलिए सतगुरु महाराज की जय, सच्चे दरबार की जय. Today we present weekly Satsang from Akhand Gyan from the monthly magazine of Divya Jyoti Jagrati Sansthan and is inspired by His Holiness Ashutosh Maharaj. This article is taken from July 2011. Today's topic is hatred, the killer vice. The word hatred finds its place in the dictionary of most of us, whether we reveal it openly or not. But in our hearts, we do bear hatred for someone or the other. For some or the other reason, this vice called hatred seeks someone to be hated always, and we all fall victims to it. Today, let's try to analyze this vice, which eats up a big chunk of our mental energy. So friends, why do we hate each other? If we look into the subject, the most prominent reason that we will find behind hatred is selfishness. When we see our selfish desires or motives getting hindered, it is then that this vice creeps inside us. Another cause that may be found is, if for some unknown reason somebody hurts us, then we may tend to hate him, or else, due to our past impressions, we may tend to hate someone at first sight, or others may tend to hate us at first sight too. Hatred can grow as a result of jealousy as well. So, these are the chief causes which are said to give birth to hatred. Now, hatred, whatsoever be the cause, is a vice and definitely needs to be destroyed. Otherwise, remember, hatred corrodes the vessel in which it is stored. Chinese proverb. True, it destroys our mental energies as we tend to become obsessed with the object of our hatred. Believe it or not, hatred is one of the biggest causes of chronic depression. It is said that an evil thought, here, feelings of hatred and jealousy for others, is thrice cursed. Firstly, it harms the subject, the one who harbors such negative feelings. Secondly, it harms the object, the one towards whom that hate is directed. And thirdly, it harms the entire universe by dissolving more negativity in it. Next, the question arises, what needs to be done? The following incident suggests an answer. Once a person came to a saint and said, "Oh Master, I tried my level best not to give place in my heart to the feelings of hatred and jealousy towards others, especially for those with whom I work. But despite my best efforts, I failed to completely ban such negative feelings from entering inside me. It has become my nature to think negative and unnecessarily hate each other. Please, suggest some way to me so that I can get rid of this vice." The saint said, "From today, whenever such negative feelings come into your heart, reveal them to the ones for whom these feelings arise. Tell them that you hate them and are jealous of them. Tell them clearly that you do not like them and that they hold the place of a rival in your life." The man accepted the advice of the saint in return. After a couple of days, he went again to the saint and said, "Master, that what you suggested me appeared to be an easy task at first sight. But when I actually had to implement it, it turned out to be very difficult. I realized that it is difficult to stop the negative feelings of hatred from entering my heart. But it is rather more difficult to tell it to others that I hate them. So, out of the two ways, I have chosen the easier one. I have stopped nurturing hatred towards others." But friends, after knowing what to do, still an important query remains unanswered. That how to bring about this change? The best possible solution is to change ourselves or the situation, whichever is easy and wise. Although, out of their growing impatience, people today are opting for the extreme steps, like breaking the ties of a relationship, divorce in case of couples, or breakups between brothers or friends. Or, at times of resorting to violent means like killing the person they hate. Certainly, these options are not advisable. We need to remember that life demands all of us to compromise on many fronts. We can escape the worst if we develop the attribute, even a little. It is due to the lack of this virtue of compromise that today We have so much violence and struggles around. So, how to prepare ourselves to choose for the wise and the right way? This is possible by cultivating love for all in our hearts. As Lord Buddha also says, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Love as I have loved you all. This is perhaps the toughest commands of Jesus Christ, and it would take us ages to grow Christ-like to do that. Still, if we can try to inculcate this virtue a little bit, at least, it can do wonders for us. For the reason that hate cannot end hate, but only love can end it. Our books of wisdom suggest us a formula in this regard. Cultivating love through divine knowledge. What happens when a person gets initiated into the divine knowledge? Meaning the practical experience of God within. When a perfect master bestows upon us the technique to practically experience the divine Lord within, we see our third nature in the form of light through the third eye. Slowly but steadily, it becomes to our understanding that the same God is present in all, and that we are all different manifestations of the divine light. Like, when we see the sunlight through green glass, it appears green, and when seen through red glass, it appears red. So the difference is in the superficial manifestation and not the source. This realization automatically develops love for all over a period of time, and we come to an understanding which is divine and elevating. And then these substitutions hold true in our lives, as quoted by Martin Luther King Jr. Hatred paralyzes life, love releases it. Hatred confuses life, love harmonizes it. Hatred darkens life, love illuminates it. Such divine knowledge makes it possible to have these welcoming substitutions of love and positivity over hatred and negativity can be had even in this age with the grace of His Holiness Ashutosh Maharaj, founder and head of Divya Jyoti Jagrati Sansthan. To read more such articles, please subscribe to our monthly magazine Akhand Gyan, available in 3 languages, Hindi, English, and Punjabi. You can subscribe to the magazine by clicking on the link mentioned in the description.